Hi, Ed and Jim. It was really nice meeting you yesterday. Thank you so much for showing me your parents' home. I'm really sorry that we had to meet under those circumstances, but I think that that home is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to helping you find a buyer that will take just as good care of it as your parents did. I put together some information for you. Give it a look and let me know what questions you have. First of all, let's talk a little bit about what I bring to the table. I live literally 8 minutes away, so it's very easy for me to sell the benefits of neighborhoods in which I live myself personally. Next, I didn't just fall into real estate. My advertising and marketing degree have really helped me in this position as well, and that's something that's really a rare find in realtors. To be quite honest, a lot of what I do is just common sense. This is an example of one of the homes that I recently sold up on Connequin Terrace. And this is a clip from the Multilist, the real estate website that only realtors have access to. If you'll notice, I have the maximum number of pictures all put in there. You're allowed to have 25 pictures, and I make sure on every one of my homes that every one of those slots are filled. I actually use multiple cameras when I come to take pictures of my listings. I get still pictures as well as video. I also Photoshop my pictures. Now, I don't Photoshop anything in or out of them, but just by enhancing the pictures, it increases the amount of time that buyers spend looking at your home online. The longer they look, the more likely they are to take that next step, which is contacting me. An important thing to know is 88% of buyers look online before they ever contact a realtor. And honestly, I'm willing to bet that it's a lot higher now. So your online marketing has to be detailed and has to be just downright good. So when I say a listing that does not have captions describing the layout of the house, that does not have good descriptions, let alone any descriptions, without any supplemental information like the disclosures, I really feel that these agents are doing their sellers a huge injustice. And this is the site that only realtors have access to, but this information gets filtered into the public sites like realtor.com, zillow.com, trulia.com, all of those. Now, most agents are pretty good with the traditional advertising, but I like to take things a step further. For example, I had a house in Wampum that was on the market for 8 months. 8 months! It seems like forever, but it was a really tough sell. It was in Wampum, it was a 2-bedroom, and it was grossly overpriced. And my seller knew that, but that's just unfortunately what she needed to get with the situation that she was in. And we weren't getting any showings. Now, as soon as a house gets put on the market, most of the activity happens right away. Then it slowly peters out. A lot of agents put their sign in the yard, they slap it on the internet, and they just hope for a showing and an offer before the interest dies. But my job is to make sure that that interest doesn't die. Sometimes, on some houses, it takes a lot more effort, and that's my job. So for this house, what I did is I made a cute little video. It was extremely simple, and just take a look. That little 21-second clip turned into intense buyer interest. It got plastered all over social media. We had 250 views in the first 48 hours and an offer within 3 days. Luckily, though, marketing is not a stagnant thing. The most effective marketing is fluid, and it changes with the feedback that we get in the housing market as well as monitoring your activity. So there's traditional marketing. I mean, you have a lot of really good agents out there who do a really good job with this type of marketing. And that includes, yard signs and descriptions and pictures and guided tours, etc. But I personally feel that that should just be a springboard to enhanced marketing. Now, there are a lot more tools out there that a lot of agents just don't take advantage of, or they just don't know how to take advantage of. So more up-to-date and more enhanced advertising through better technology and use of social media is where I excel. I not only have the capability and the know-how and the equipment, but I also have the social media following to do promotional videos and get them out to the buyers for your home. But even when you have awesome marketing out there, your buyers are clicking like crazy and they're wanting more information, but those things do no good. if the agent is not following up with consistent and immediate communication. And when you do that, when you have the highest success rate of captivating your buyer's interest at the peak of the interest, that translates into peak offers. Speaking of communication, I don't just communicate, I counsel. I counsel with my sellers. You're going to be educated and kept abreast of exactly what I'm actively doing to market your home and attract potential buyers. You're going to know exactly what your housing market is doing, who's buying, and what's selling. And after a showing, I feel it's vital to know exactly what a buyer felt about your home. Did they love the appliances but hated the pink bathroom? I mean, I don't filter any of that. That is information that you need to know. I not only communicate well with my buyers, but the sellers have to be communicated with as well. Coldwell Banker has a home base and touch system that allows me to make contact with prospective buyers almost immediately. I actually tested this as I was writing this presentation, and I went onto one of my listings. I clicked contact agent for more information, and my phone rang in literally 1 minute, 52 seconds with the potential buyer's contact information. And I personally have a 100% follow-up rating with those leads. So I do not automate my business. I don't have assistants. I don't automate my marketing services or my communication. Those who call get me. A statistic that stuck with me is that leads are converted to sales 22 times more often when a contact is made in the first 5 minutes. So that's something I always keep in mind. But the buyers and the sellers aren't the only ones in the game. You also have your fellow realtors. And despite what a lot of people might think, real estate is not separated into sides. There's not a buyer side and there's not a seller side. We have to stop thinking that way and think in a way that everybody has the same goal in mind. And that's what we have to do. That's why we have to cooperate to get your home sold. All of that also flows down into the security that I keep in mind for my sellers. I am not so hungry for a sale that I'm going to sacrifice your privacy or your security for a potential sale. I only work with pre-approved buyers, period. Many agents feel that they're going to lose business by not rushing out to show a house every time a buyer asks them to. And honestly, it's a really hard conversation to have, requiring that a buyer is pre-approved or they've supplied a proof of funds letter. But that's a conversation and that's a habit I got into as soon as I started my real estate business. I have no problems having that conversation, and I have never unlocked a door for anyone who hasn't first proved to me that they are capable of purchasing that property. Only the people who are legitimate buyers have any right being in your home, and I'm one of the very few agents that's unwavering on that policy.
So, all of those things, the fact that I work in neighborhoods in which I know and live, my focus on complete marketing paired with technology and full use of social media, my consistent and immediate communication with my sellers, as well as all of the parties who play a part in getting your home sold, and my focus on keeping your home safe and not wasting your time with buyers who just can't afford it. All of that ends up to be a pretty successful business plan. Okay, I did a little digging for you and I found some comparable information. But before I present it, I want to make sure that I disclose the following. There is never going to be a 100% perfect match that I'm going to give you that exact price. With every piece of information I find, there's going to be good points and bad points that are relevant. And I'm going to try to explain all of that as we move forward.
I wanted to start off by showing you this home that sold on Shannon Road for $235,000. This sold just about a year ago. Now there's a lot of similarities. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, right there in Dougherty Township. The differences include the fact that there's not only one, but 2 very nice kitchens. It also has a really nice sun porch, but the lot is smaller as well. It only has about 1/4 of an acre. Then we have this property that sold this last June for $215,000. Again, the same basic similarities, but the main differences include that it does have that finished basement that some buyers like, but it has a detached garage instead of an attached garage, and again, it's on a much smaller lot. I want to expand my search a little bit to homes that have sold outside of Dougherty Township only because I had a hard time finding properties in Dougherty that had at least an acre. But this property sold last April for $285,000. And in regards to similarities, again, it does have an acre of land, so it is more similar in lot size. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. When it comes to differences, though, obviously it's not in Dougherty, it is an economy. It did have a finished basement, but if you look at that curb appeal, your home is by far superior. This property on Ridge Road sold in February of this year. And there's, again, a lot of similarities. We have a similar lot size, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. The lot on this property is absolutely beautiful, perfectly level and flat. When it comes to differences, it is in New Sewickley Township. It also had a lot of other nice perks, enclosed sunroom, as well as that finished basement. Looking at homes that are currently on the market, these are properties that are in direct competition with your home, would be this one on William Penn Highway, which is listed for $220,000. Now, it's actually a little smaller. It's only on a 1/3 acre. It only has 3 bedrooms, but it does have a pretty nice kitchen and it does have that finished basement. Another property I found is on Mercer Road, currently on the market for $225,000. This property I don't think is actually going to be much competition. It has less than an acre. It is terribly outdated and it has a detached garage rather than a attached garage. All in all, I do not think that a listing price between $220,000 and $250,000 is unreasonable. But to be honest, when I'm looking at the competition and I'm considering the amenities that your property offers, I honestly wouldn't blink at listing it a little below $270,000. And then we can monitor our feedback. If we're not getting any activity within the first week to 10 days, we can adjust that price as need be until we find our sweet spot. Remember, the listing price is 100% your decision. So whatever you guys decide, I'm here and I'm happy to help. Let me know whenever you're ready and I'm ready to go.